we'll see the concepts of super mesh, and before that, one example I have given a network here. See, whenever first some important points I will tell you how to follow for following the mesh analysis. First important thing is first see how many loops are there. First and foremost is see or observe how many loops are there. Depending upon the loops, assume the current. Assume the current in the clockwise direction. See, in this example, I have 3 loops. So I have assumed 3 currents. See, you need not assume in the way I have done. You can go with your own way. If at all in question paper they have mentioned, you have to follow that method. Here I have assumed I1, I2 and I3. They are in the clockwise direction. Next method in the next step in the mesh analysis is see whether there are any border currents. Okay, border means not in the middle branches. Completely border, is there any current source you observe? If there is a current source, then that loop current will be this current source only. So see, there is in this I2, the whatever we have assumed I2, there is a current source here. It is 2 milliamps. And here for I1 also at the border we have one current source. It is 4 milliamps. Okay, these two loop currents, that is I1 and I2, will be equal to this 2 milliamps and 4 milliamps. So at first check whether there are any border currents. Accordingly, the loop currents will be equal to that current source. And one more thing, how they have given this 2 milliamps? 2 milliamps is coming at the downward direction. Okay, and our I2 current is going against it. The direction of I2 current is against this. Okay, it is against the 2 milliamps. So I2 will be minus 2 milliamps. I have written here I2 is equal to minus 2 into milli means 10 power minus 3. So I2 is minus 2 into 10 power minus 3 amps. Next we have I1. I1 also we have a current source at the border, and the direction of I1 is with 4 milliamps. It is going in the direction of 4 milliamps. It is not against it. So I1 is 4 into 10 power minus 3 amps. If it is against, you have to write minus. If it is in the direction, you just write 4 into 10 power minus 3 amps. So since we have at the border current sources, we got already 2 answers directly. We got I1 and I2. There are only 3 loops here, and we know now 2 answers, I1 and I2. See, writing all these currents also will carry marks. You have to write them correctly. So I1 is 4 milliamps and I2 is minus 2 milliamps. So we have left out with only one unknown. So one unknown is, that is I3. So one unknown means you have to write only one equation. So you have to check how many unknowns are there. Accordingly, you have to write the equations. Here we have only one unknown, that is I3. So just write the equation for I3. That is loop 3. What is the equation for loop 3? As we have studied in mesh analysis, we write Kirchhoff's voltage law. That is, we write voltage in terms of current and resistance. So we'll start with 4 kilo ohm here. So for this resistor, we have 2 currents, I3 and I2. Since we are writing for equation for loop 3, we have to write the I3 current first. So 4 kilo amp, that is 4 into 10 power 3 into I3 minus I2 plus 2 into 10 power 3 into I3 minus I1. Okay, for a 2 kilo ohm resistor, the 2 currents are I3 and I1. Next we have 6 kilo ohm resistor, that is 6 into 10 power 3 I3. It has only one current I3, and we have a voltage source here. Write that voltage source directly. Since the current is entering the negative polarity, you just write it as minus 3 and equate it to 0. Next, to simplify this equation, see here wherever we have I2 and I1, you can substitute these values. You can substitute the values of I1 as 4 milliamps and I2 as minus 2 milliamps. You substitute in this equation, you will get the value I3. See, in this problem, we have to find the voltage V0 at the terminal shown here. Okay, I have not written here. We have to find out the voltage. How much is the voltage at the terminals? I have put 2 bubbles now here. There you have to find out the voltage. So how much will be the voltage there? The voltage depends upon current and resistance. So one voltage they have already given, it is minus 3 volts. One more is they have given only resistance, so it should be multiplied with current to get the voltage. So resistance is how much? 6 kilo ohm. So 6 into 10 power 3. And I3 is the current flowing in this branch. So it is I3 into 6 kilo ohm minus 3 volts. So whatever I3 value you will get from this equation, substitute here, you will get the voltage across these terminals. This is one of the example of mesh analysis where we have a current source at the border. Okay, whenever we have current source at the border, the current in that loop will be equal to this border current source. That you have to remember. Okay, this is first example. Next we will go with the concept of super mesh. The super mesh analysis, if a current, what is super mesh? First we'll see. If there is a current source present between two meshes, please understand carefully. If we have a current source present between two meshes, then such mesh is called super mesh. The current source is whatever that current source will be, that will be defined in terms of loop currents. See here, I have shown a network here. In network, so we have to solve this network using a mesh analysis. So at first we'll see at the border we have any current source, we don't have at the border any current source. Then you see how many meshes are there. There are 3 meshes, so you assume 3 currents, I1, I2, I3 in the clockwise direction. So all these steps are completed. After this you have to check whether there are any current sources between the meshes. Okay, between I1 and I2, or between I2 and I3, or between I1 and I3. There are 3 meshes here. So check whether there is a current source. Here we have a 5 amps current source between I1 and I3. Since this is a 5 amp current source, we don't know how much current will go for mesh 1, how much current will go for mesh 3. We can't tell correctly. So what they will do, this mesh, this I1 and I3 put together is called a super mesh. So how to solve this super mesh means, first we have to write this current source in terms of loop currents. Okay, first we have to write the current source that is between two meshes I1 and I3 in terms of loop currents. What is the loop current? Loop current is I1 and I3. So first we'll write I1 minus I3 is equal to 5 amps. That is the first equation. That is important. I1 minus I3 is equal to 5 amps. Why I wrote I1 first? Because I1 is in the direction of 5 amps. I3 is against 5 amps. Okay, it is going against 5 amps and I1 is in the direction of 5 amps. So I1 is written first. So I1 minus I3 is equal to 5 amps is the first equation. Next, what we have to do, without considering this current source, you have to take this super mesh together. That means these two meshes I1 and I3 should be taken together and written an equation. So what is the super mesh? If you put, if you give a name for this super mesh, it will be like this. It will start from A, B, C, D. Next it is G, H, E and A. This complete mesh. Okay, this complete mesh which includes both the meshes I1 and I3 together, we call it as a super mesh. That concept should be clear. Why we call it as a super mesh? Because we have a current source between I1 and I3. Between two meshes, if a current source comes, we call it as super mesh. So how to solve it? First we'll write this current source in terms of loop currents. Okay. So I have written in terms of loop currents, that is I1 minus I3 is equal to 5 amps. Then next we write the equation for the super mesh. Which is called super mesh. The super mesh is the one which has the current source between two meshes. So here I1 and I3 is the super mesh. So first we'll write the equation for that. First we'll write the equation for I1. So I1 is entering minus polarity. So we'll write it as minus 10. Next it is 5 into I1. Okay. Next here for 2 ohm resistor, we have two currents I1 and I2. Since we are writing for loop 1, so you have to write I1 current first. So it is 2 into I1 minus I2 plus, will come for 4. The super mesh will come here. Okay, it will come for the 4 ohm. It is 4 into I3 minus I2 because we are writing the equation for loop 3. Loop 1 and loop 3 should put together and we'll write the super mesh equation. So it is 4 into I3 minus I2 plus 8 into I3. Okay, this is the complete super mesh. It starts from A, B, C, D, G, H, E, A. So we have 5 ohm, we have 2 ohm, we have 4 ohm, we have 8 ohm. All this put together. Okay, a equation is written here. Just simplify that equation, we'll get the equation 2. So we have equation 1, we have equation 2. How many unknowns are there here? We have 3 unknowns. So you have to write 3 equations. I1, I2, I3 are the 3 unknowns. So we wrote 2 equations now. Still one more equation is required. So one more equation we'll write for loop 2. Okay, for I2 current you have to write. So how many resistors we have here? We have 2, 4 and 6. So just write 2 into I2 minus I1, 4 into I2 minus I3, 6 into I2. Okay, is equal to 0. That 0 has gone. Just equate it to 0. Simplify the equation. See, writing the equations, after writing you have to put it into determinant form. You have to write the coefficients of I1, I2, I3. Then write the constants. Substitute in your calculator in the equation mode. Go for equation mode. Substitute it. You will get the answers for I1, I2, I3. I have just written for I1. You have to find out for I2 and I3. So this is the concept of super mesh. One more example we'll see so that it will be clear for you. So the next example is, hope you can see the network here. Here also 3 meshes are there. First, what you have to do for mesh analysis? First check how many loops are there. So we have 3 loops. Assume 3 currents I1, I2 and I3 in the clockwise direction. So that is completed. Next check whether there are any currents at the border. So we don't have any current source at the border here. This is 2 volts. It is not current source. Next check whether there is any current source between the meshes. So we have a current source 1 amp between the meshes here I1 and I3. So this represents a super mesh now. So how to write this super mesh? First we have to write this current source in terms of I1 and I3. So which current we'll write first? We have to write I1 current because I1 is in the direction of 1 amps. Okay, I1 is in the direction of 1 amp. So write I1 minus I3 is equal to 1 amps. So that is first equation. How many unknowns are there? 3 unknowns are there. So you have to write 3 equations. So we got one equation now. And the second equation will be the super mesh equation. Which is the super mesh here? I1 and I3 loops put together. How it will start? A, B, H, E, F, G, A. Okay, that complete loop is called super mesh. So you have to write the equation for that complete loop. You should not consider this current source. We have written this current source already as equation 1. So while writing super mesh equation, you should not consider this current source. Without considering it, consider the 2 loops and write the equation. So first we'll write for loop 1. It is entering minus sign. So write it as minus 2. Next, it is a voltage source. You have to write it just like minus 2 only. You should not multiply it with current. Next, the element is 2 ohm resistor. So it is 2 into I1 minus I2. Next, the element is 1 ohm resistor. So it is 1 into I3 minus I2. And next, the element is again 2. It is 2 into I3. So we have one voltage source that is 2 volts and we have 3 resistors. 2 ohm, 1 ohm and 2 ohm. All that put together will get a super mesh equation. Simplify that equation, you will get the equation 2. Since we got 2 equations, but there are 3 unknowns here. So one more equation is required. So write the equation for loop 2. Loop 2, we have 3 elements. We don't have any source in loop 2. We have 3 elements like a 2 ohm resistor, 1 ohm resistor and 1 ohm resistor. So for 2 it is I2 minus I1. For 1 it is just I2, and for one more 1 ohm resistor it is I2 minus I3. So see again I'm telling, this is resistor into current, resistor into current, resistor into current. All this represents voltages. We are writing all the voltages and equating it to 0 in mesh analysis. Simplify the equation, so you'll get the equation 3. So we have 3 unknowns and 3 equations. Write the coefficients of the equations. Okay, I1, I2, I3 have to write here. In first equation we have I1 as 1 and we don't have I2. If you don't have I2, you have to write it as 0. I have not written, I have just put the bracket. You have to complete it and find the answer. So the first row will be 1, 0 and minus 1. We don't have I2. Whenever there is no current, just put 0. Similarly, do it for the other equations. The second equation is 2, minus 3 and 3, and the third equation is minus 2, 4 and minus 1. Substitute the coefficients, substitute in your calculator, find the answers and show me in the next class. You have to show. I had given yesterday also on problem that we'll see later. So these are the 2 examples of mesh analysis. Hope you are understanding. Next we'll see one more concept of mesh analysis with dependent source. Okay. This is again, what is this dependent source? Yesterday we had seen voltage dependent current source, we had seen current dependent voltage source, networks we had seen. So I have shown a network here. Just observe the network. Again, this also using mesh analysis only you have to find. So first step, again I'm repeating, we have 3 loops, assume 3 currents, so I1 and I2, I3 in the clockwise direction. That is done. Next, see whether there are any current source at the border. So we have a current source of 10 amps at the border of first loop. So the current I1 will be equal to 10 amps. So I1 is in the direction of 10 amps, so it is positive. So I1 is equal to 10 amps. Okay. Next, see whether there is any current source between the meshes. Between I1 and I2 we don't have any current source. Between I2 and I3 we don't have. But between I1 and I3 there is a current source. What type of current source it is? It is a dependent source. We have to see how it is written. Okay, it is not written. The symbol of it should be observed. So what type of current source it is? It is voltage dependent current source. That is important. What it is? It is a voltage dependent current source. Since it is a current source and it is between the 2 meshes I1 and I3, it represents a super mesh. So you have to write as usual, how you write the super mesh equation, you have to write. So which current should be taken first? Since it is between I1 and I3, and since I3 is in the direction of the current source, so you have to write I3 first. So I3 minus I1 is equal to 1 by 10 Vx. So Vx is the voltage. They will show in the network on which voltage it is dependent. It is dependent on the voltage across 3 ohm resistor. That is important. Okay, across 3 ohm resistor, what is the voltage across 3 ohm resistor? Voltage is nothing but current into resistance. So how much is the current here? In this 3 ohm resistor, we have 2 currents. One is I3 and one is I2. So I3 minus I2 into 3. Okay, current into resistance will give me the voltage here. So what will, instead of Vx, see here, instead of Vx, what I have to write? 3 into I3 minus I2. First what we'll write? I3 minus I1 is equal to 1 by 10 Vx will write. Next what we have to do? Instead of Vx, Vx is a dependent source. It is depending upon the voltage across 3 ohm resistor that is shown in the network. How much is the voltage here? The voltage here depends upon the current and resistance. How much is the current here? Current is I3 minus I2 and the resistance is 3. So it is 3 into I3 minus I2. Next, as usual, just cross multiply, send that 10 to the LHS side, cross multiply and simplify the equation. So you'll get the equation 2. 3i2 plus 7i3 is equal to 100 is the equation 2. And one more thing here. How many unknowns are there? Here we know already I1 answer. I1 is already 10 amps. We know. So only two unknowns are there, that is I2 and I3. So we require only two equations. We already got one equation. We have to write one more equation here. Okay, that you have to remember. So we need not write this super mesh equation now. We can write equation only for loop 2. So depending on the unknowns, see how many equations are required, that many equations you write. So write the equation for loop 2. The equation for loop 2 is as usual, there are three elements here, 2, 3 and 2. So it is 2 into I2 minus I1. Next it is 2 into I2. Next it is 3 into I2 minus I3. See, whichever loop you are writing, that loop current should be written first. You have to remember that. Okay. So loop 2 also we got. So we have two equations, equation 2 and equation 3. Put it in a determinant form. Find the unknowns I2 and I3. We know already I1 as 10 amps. So this is example where we have a voltage dependent current source. Okay, dependent source example also is shown. I think you are following. We'll see now how to solve the mesh analysis for AC source. So first, students, take your calculators. In that calculator, go for mode and press 2 and put the calculator in complex form. Okay. After putting the complex form, just see the screen here. Hope you can see. We have a network, a simple network with two loops, but all they have the AC source. Okay, AC source will contain this capacitor and inductor. Till now, this problem solved contained only resistance. Okay, here we have capacitance and inductance. We have a voltage source also, but it will be in terms of polar form. Okay, it will have some angles and also we'll write 5 at an angle 30. That is the voltage source here. 8 ohm is the resistor and we have a capacitor minus J5. Capacitor will always have minus J term and inductance will have plus J. Okay, and then we have a resistor 6 and we have plus J4 and minus J5, one capacitor and one inductor. We have two loops, so as usual assume current I1 and I2 and just write the loop equations as we had written for the DC source. Since for AC source the symbol is like that, they will give an arrow here. Okay, arrow is presented. The tail of the arrow is negative and the head is positive. So the current is entering the tail. Since it is negative, we have to write minus 5 at an angle 30. Next we have to write 8 into I1. Next is we have a capacitor. Capacitor has two currents, I1 and I2. So I'll write I1 minus I2. So minus J5 into I1 minus I2. Simplify this equation. Put all the I1 terms one side. So we have 8 I1 and minus J5 I1. Bring it together. It becomes 8 minus J5 I1 plus minus into minus plus we will get, write it as J5 I2 is equal to, this negative will come this side, it will become 5 at an angle 30. That is equation 1. Similarly, write the loop 2 equation. Loop 2, first write minus J5 into I2 minus I1. Okay, I2 minus I1 plus 6 I2 plus J4 into I2. You can write this 6 and J4 together also. Next, bring the I1 terms together. So we have minus into minus plus, it becomes J5 I1 and we have I2. I2 we have two terms here. See here, minus J5 I2 and plus J4 I2. So we'll get minus J. So minus J and 6 are the two terms. So we'll write 6 minus J I2. That is equation 2. So two equations, two unknowns, put them in the matrix form or determinant or matrix form you put. To find out this current I1 and I2, we cannot substitute this directly in the calculator. In the calculator in equation mode, we cannot substitute the J terms. Okay, it's not possible. So I have told you should know this Cramer's rule here. How to do this Cramer's rule to find 8 minus j5 into 6 minus j. These both are cross multiplied, minus j5 into j5. This you have done. Okay, 8 minus j5 into 6 minus j minus j5 into j5 will get the determinant of this matrix. Okay, so whatever I have written here, that is 8 minus j5 into 6 minus j minus of j5 into j5. The way I have written, the same thing you have to substitute in your calculator. So everybody take the calculator now, which is in the complex mode. Okay, then first press two brackets and write it as, see, it is 8 minus j5. In calculator you have to write 8 minus 5 I you have to write. Shift, press the shift, and above engineering there is one I. There is one button called ENG. Above that there is I. Press that I. Okay. While writing we write it as j5, but in calculator we put it in terms of 5i. Okay. 8 minus 5i. Close the bracket. Again open the bracket and write it as 6 minus I. How you will write I? Press the shift and press the engineering button, you will get I. Again close the bracket. Okay. Next minus sign. Next is 5i into 5i. So open the bracket. Just write 5i. Close the bracket. Again open the bracket. 5i. Close the bracket. So close two brackets here. After closing two brackets, just press is equal to, you will get this answer, 68 minus 38i. In calculator you will get like that. You can write it as 68 minus j38 also. So this is in rectangular form. Okay. After getting in rectangular form, so whatever these items will get now, that will be in rectangular form. If you want this answer in polar form, what you have to do? Again press shift and press the number button 2. Okay, above 2 there is a complex C, CMPLX they have written. Press the number 2. Okay, when you press the number 2, you will get 4 options there. We have argument, we have conjugate, we have R at an angle theta, we have A plus BI. Since we already have in rectangular form, we want in polar form. So press the number 3. Polar form is R at an angle theta. So press number 3. So it will show the answer R at an angle theta. Just press is equal to, you will get the answer 77.89 at an angle minus 29.19. So the first answer is in rectangular form and the second answer is in polar form. After finding the delta, next we have to find out delta 1. To find out delta 1, you have to substitute the elements of the first column. Okay, you have to remove these elements of the first column of the determinant and substitute the constants. If you remove first column and substitute the constants, that is 5 at an angle 30 and 0, you will get delta 1. If you remove the second column and substitute the constants in that place, you will get delta 2. Okay, delta 1 and delta 2 are the determinants. How to find out I1? I1 is equal to delta 1 divided by delta and I2 is delta 2 divided by delta. Just divide it, you will get the answer. Similarly, how we had found out for delta, now you have to find out for delta 1. One term is already 0 here, so it is 5 at an angle 30 into 6 minus j. See how it is there, like that only you have to press in the calculator. So how to press this angle also I will tell. Now go for shift and there is like one symbol is there, say A, B, C, D in hexadecimal they are given. Near that A only one angle is there. If you just press that button, it is like bracket, I feel that if you press that button you will get that angle. You can press that angle and write 30 degree. Okay, after pressing shift, you have that button in the calculator where these hexadecimals are written. You use that to write the angle. Okay, so try this problem, see whether you will get the same answers. If you have any problem or if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the next class. Thank you.